Good morning and welcome back to Miniature Monday, where today we are going to be continuing my admittedly slow saga of painting up Dungeon Saga for from Mantic Games for the Dice Tower West convention that I'm going to next week. So, anyways, but yeah, hope you all are having a good, it's Monday. Hope you're having a good Monday so far. And, I just woke up. So, I feel like I've been sleeping all weekend. You can sleep? Why are you going to sleep, Dr. Death? Good morning, Dr. Death. Been a while, buddy. And good morning, Hungar. Yeah, I slept a lot this weekend. Let's just say that my night schedule is going to be all screwed up this week, but I'm on vacation starting Friday. So there's that. Anyways, but I had a good weekend. I hope you all did as well. I apparently have filthy glasses. So anyways, but no, it was a good weekend for me. We got to go hang out with friends and play some board games. Played one that's been sitting on my shelf for about a year unplayed. And we liked it so much that we ended up playing it a second time yesterday when the kids were over. By the kids, I mean the one that's married and no longer lives here. So got to play that twice. Way better than I was expecting. I mean, it was fun when I did the demo, but the whole game was really good. Hungar, I hope you are not getting whatever is going around North America, because that I think that's part of the reason my schedule's still all screwed up, because I'm still just dealing with whatever that cold was. Anyhow, so yeah, overall, I mean, had a good weekend. Got to interview the guys from Palladium Books again over on the Society of Role-Playing Gamers channel. That was yesterday morning. Got all prepped up because I thought I'd be going to church afterwards, and the wife said, nope, it is, we're not going today. She has not been sleeping well this weekend. Anyways, so yeah, whatever it is that's going around North America, it's just it's hitting everybody, and it's hitting them rough. So anyhow, all right, I'm gonna flip over to our top-down camera. So I know I was supposed to paint Mundo's miniature on Friday. Again, my sleep schedule's been all messed up, and then when I woke up on Friday, the teenager was on the computer and I had no access to it. So we're gonna have to figure that out. But what we're going to do today is we're going to work on Dungeon Saga, because I've got to get that finished up. I'm doing a lot of dry brushing, a lot of just kind of like easy work. I mean, it's a bunch of undead. It's not too rough. So thank you, Hungar. I felt spiffy yesterday. Anyway, so bunch of undead. It's going to be like, most of that's just going to be some fairly easy. I've already done a lot of like the zombie skin and that kind of stuff. Good morning, Mr. Baker. So yeah, it's got a lot of good stuff. Actually, that reminds me of something that I want to look at. Okay. Which game Dr. Death. I was talking. So the board game that I was talking about is called Rival Restaurants. Basically, you are a chef at a restaurant and you're trying to become the most popular by cooking more stuff than everyone else. Think of it as sort of a just like Iron Chef or Cutthroat Kitchen or something like that, but in a board game form. And they actually did it really, really well. And like I said, it was done so well that we ended up playing it twice. So that was good. Dungeon Saga. Dungeon Saga is what I am. So I have been for a number of years a Pathfinder for Mantic Games. Basically, that's one of their demo agents. I usually just do stuff at conventions. Like Mantic will be at Adepticon, and so I'll go to Adepticon and help out, or Mantic is at Gen Con and I'll go to help out at Gen Con. But since Kim and I have been going to this Dice Tower convention, since 2020, literally, we went because it was March 2020. The government hadn't come out and said, shut everything down. So it was and nobody was worried. Nobody was freaking out or anything. It was just, we just went to the convention, had some fun. And, but we still just enjoyed it so much that we've gone back. Pretty much every year. That's kind of just become our thing. And then on top of it, I just kind of figured it's a good show. Mantic does some good games, and so I just figured, you know what? I realized that yes, it's my vacation. But what I do is, so I'll sometimes Kim will have to do some work, or maybe she doesn't want to go down to the convention at 8-9 o'clock in the morning, and so I'll go down, and I've done this the last couple of years, and I'll set up, run some demos for 2-3 hours or whatever until Kim is ready to come down. And then Kim and I'll go do stuff. But then I get a little bit of credit with Mantic, and I get to get some extra goodies and whatnot. So yeah, overall, it works out for everyone. This year that's a little too much paint. This year I got them to pay for a table in the demo zone, so we'll have a sort of a semi-official presence, and we'll go from there. So, because it's a good show. I think think Mantic should do more. So, oh, I should get my paint. I'm trying to do all of this with the Monument Hobbies paint, but I don't really have a good rack system for it. So I still keep it in the trays that come out of the box. I've spoken to my brother-in-law, and we're gonna sorry folks, he's gonna okay, oh no, speak of the devil. You know, I haven't used this. Okay. But so I have plans. I want to reorganize desk a little bit. So as you all know, I call this the infamously small work table because I don't have a lot of room for anything. So I want to make a sorry, I'm looking. And let's just do silver and we'll do a wash over top of it. But I want to rework the desk. So right now, this is my camera maxed out. I get approximately 18 inches by 12 inches on camera. And I'd like to, number one, I'd have to get a new camera. So the top-down camera's right here. I'd have to get a new lens so I could zoom out more. But I'm probably going to end up with like another. Right now I'm kind of debating the size, but essentially I want to be able to put like a single BattleTech map on the desk and be able to get the whole thing in camera. So that way, like I could do some BattleTech games over the internet, or have some more room that I can show off board games. Anyways, but part of it, I'm also going to put like a pegboard up in front, and like, so you can't see it, but I've also got like a ring of, or like an arch of LED lights going over the table. And so I actually buy a different stand that lets me put different lights and cameras and whatnot on it. Anyway, so again, so that I can show off more things. So it's sort of a long-term process, but by long-term process, I mean like I'd like to do it this year. We'll see what happens. But then that way, anyway, so the point was, since my brother-in-law can do 3D modeling and I can't, at least not in such a way that it would be good for 3D printing. I've asked him to help me come up with some racks for the Monument Hobbies paints that I can then attach to that I can attach these racks to the pegboard that I'm going to get, and then hold the paint that way. Just so that way I don't, well, number one, I don't have to keep the paints in the trays. We can also do a rack that just holds like the regular army painter sized bottles. And then basically it'll just kind of help organize and clean up stuff until I make another mess out of it. Hungar, Nerds Nerd already did us a Hungar figure. I just haven't figured out how to do support so that I can print him. I'll admit, it's a little bit of me being lazy. So just so you're aware, with a lot of these paint jobs, again, they're just undead. I'm not really planning on them being too crazy. A lot of these details will come out with a wash. So for now, I'm just trying to pick out a couple of colors to make things look right. And yeah, Dr. Death, everybody always needs more hobby or more room for whatever their hobby is. Mine, because I'm in the living room, and so everybody still uses the living room, you know, it's where TV, family time, that kind of stuff. So I can't take over too much. You know, without, I mean, I already take up too much of the house. We'll just put it that way. So yeah, what I'm planning for with the expansion isn't really going to take up a whole lot of new space on the table. It'll be, I mean, obviously it will be more space, but it's like taking another 6 inches this direction and another like 8 inches that direction. So I'm trying to minimize the impact because I would like to not annoy Kim with regards to that. But again, this is all sort of a little bit down the road kind of stuff. Like it's not happening this week. But Hungar, what competition? Oh, you're talking. Okay, the member giveaway. Well, right now, I'm still just kind of hoping that we get to do a member giveaway in March. Oh, I did not know you were doing that, Hungar. The only problem is next month. March is so busy for me. Like I'm gone for 2 weeks. We're gonna miss at least one Monday paint stream, and the Friday paint streams are completely out. So those are definitely not happening. I'm gonna try and do something from. I need to do some stuff from the road, anyways. So don't worry, folks. Okay, April is much more doable, Hungar. And yeah, Dr. Death, 7 people in a 3-bedroom. I mean, that's not the worst. Obviously not ideal because it is just an apartment. But boys in one room, girls in another. But yeah, so at that point, whatever hobby space you get is amazing. Dude, I mean, for 7 people, even a house for 7 people is going to be better because you're going to get a little bit more room. Hey, nerds nerd. Than you would in an apartment. But then you also have all the house bills too. So that's something to think about. So anyhow, but yeah, so I'm kind of excited for the planned upgrades. There's like I've dealt with the infamously small work table for quite a while now. And while it will still be small, like it's not going to be like a lot of YouTubers have like they'll work at the full gaming table. I don't have a full gaming table. It's called a kitchen table. We still eat on it. But having a little bit more room, be able to fit more board game boards onto the table. Thank you, Hungar. I appreciate that. Mr. Baker, you're now a member. And shout out to Mr. Baker for paying it forward. I'm straight up the beneficiary of it, so there's that. But okay, so mild story time. Max Liao over at Legion of Myth is doing the Here Have Max's Crap giveaway contest periodically. Basically, it's stuff that he figures that he's never going to need / use again. And so, good morning, Steven! So just like he has, other reference material or whatever it is. But he doesn't feel like he needs it. And did I screw up the title? Oh. I got the date changed on the picture. There. I saved the title. Night, Hungar. Or get some rest, Hungar. Feel better, buddy. There. Date is correct for you, Sean. So anyway, where was I? Oh, anyway, so one of the things that he gave away was Star Wars D20. Which, okay, I know everyone, typically loves D6. And pretty much everybody hates Fantasy Flight. But I just thought, you know what, this would be fun to have. And so I put in to win Star Wars, and I did, which was kind of funny because I literally so he did just one of those little online spinny wheel things and put everybody's names on it, and so it'll and one more pixel and it would have gone to the next guy. So I barely won the thing. And so anyways, so he sent those to me, and I started kind of looking at them. Actually, no. Between when I won and when I received them, if any of you had been here, we went over to dinner at the house of some members of our church, the ones who decided that we are going to be friends now. I don't think those words were ever actually used. It just sounds funnier that way. Anyways, so while we were there, like, come to find out, the guy's like big Star Wars nerd. And we had a good night, and like the friends that we went to this past weekend, like, we kind of just like, you know what, we'd like to get a few of us and just start hanging out a little bit more and playing games or whatever. And so I get these Star Wars books, and I just get this feeling that, okay, so, you know, I should start using names. So the Star Wars, the Star Wars geek, that's Ryan and Amy, just to keep it simple. And then the other friends are Ben and Kirsten. And anyway, so Ben's usually down with whatever, but you know, Kirsten will come along if Ben's coming along. But I just kind of get this idea that, you know what, playing a Star Wars role-playing game would be something that Ryan would really enjoy. You know, not that we'll do it all the time. We'll still play board games. Come on, folks. You know that I do a little bit of everything around here. But so started kind of talking to him. It's like, okay, so would you be interested in this? And Ryan's like, absolutely, but I have no idea what I'm doing because I've never played D&D or anything like that. It's like, that's totally fine. You don't have to have played it. Then talk to Ben, and he's just like, yep, cool, I'm down. But Ben's also like a former theater kid. And Ben was telling me about Kirsten, and she's just like, sure, I guess. Yes, I saw that, Mr. Baker. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it. I think it will depend on how much they change the game. If it's more like a revision, then I don't think I'll mind. I thought I saw something where it's like it'll still be compatible with first edition books, and if that's the case, where it's like maybe you'll have to tweak like one ability or something, then that's usually fine. Whereas if it's nope, we're redoing a whole lot of like if it's D20 Star Wars from original D20 to Saga Edition, then that I would not be happy about. If it's D20 Star Wars to D20 revised, I'd be okay with it. Anyway, speaking of Star Wars, so essentially we've got this Star Wars group put together. But I decided, I'm like, you know what? I want some more of the books. And so I just kind of reached out, just said, hey, if anyone has these and wants to get rid of them, let me know. And let's just say that Mr. Baker cut me a very reasonable deal. And if I get to the point where I don't need them anymore, I will definitely pay it forward myself. But the short answer is, I got a big Star Wars, or not a big, but I mean a Star Wars game coming up, and it's going to be fun. Kim's going to play the Princess Leia character. Yeah, exactly. Sixth World. You got any more of that Star Wars? Dr. Death, D20 Star Wars. So the Wizards of the Coast one from the time of the prequel movies. So yeah. Yes, it was a different age. So the funny thing about Kim's character, so she's gonna play a noble, so the Princess Leia character. And looking at it, the primary stat is charisma. Secondary stats being intelligent and wisdom. Well, I'm trying to be good about stats, dude. The roll, roll down the line. No one is playing an Ewok Sixth World.
I wanted to.
No, you're not playing an Ewok, Kimberly.
It would be easier. I don't have to say words.
Dr. Death, I know people are big fans of D6, but I don't have a lot of experience with it, and there's just something in my head that says that D20 is a better way to go for this particular scenario. Like, I have experience running D&D 3rd edition, poorly I might add, but still experience nonetheless. Like, also some other factors. So Kirsten, like I said, she's semi-iffy, but she'll still play. It'll be fine. But Ben and Kirsten's oldest son, Ben and I were talking, and his son has been playing D&D with some other kids from church, but his son is also really introverted, and so they've been playing 5th edition, and 5th edition D&D, because that's kind of all the kids really even know about. And so kind of in my head, I think now we're gonna do a different color on his hair. I think it'll also be good for letting mom relate to the son a little bit more. I don't know. I mean, not necessarily that. There's just, I don't know. The inspiration I am having is to just go with the D20 route. So I realize it may not be the popular answer, but yeah, just like me. But it is the direction that I'm going. For all of this. Oh yeah, anyways, so I forgot to finish that part of the story. So Kim's noble, as I'm rolling up the stats. I'm making the characters a little more overpowered. I roll 46 down the line. So I am doing down the line, but I'm rolling 46 and keeping the 3 best. And even with that, I rolled an 8 for the charisma on the noble. And I'm like, you know what? Roll with it. And like I said, the primary stat for a noble is charisma. And so then I got to thinking about it. I'm like, wait a second. Let's think about Princess Leia. Because I mean, sort of that's how Kim is thinking about the character. So Princess Leia. Like, yes, she was the princess. Yes, she was pretty. Let's be honest. All of us dudes, we thought she was pretty back in the day. Kim does not think so. Anyways, so I'm like, yeah, so it's you know, you take penalties on all your charisma, and I'm like, in my head, I'm kind of thinking of just like this angry princess character who's just always trying to like browbeat everyone into getting her way. And Kim's like, oh, so it's me. Anyways, so that's yeah, no, exactly 6 world. Exactly. Doesn't have to be pretty. Could still be pretty, but you're a bit of a jerk. Anyways, Kim and I had a really exactly mage. Exactly. And but so like what I also did to find out what people wanted to play, or not necessarily what they wanted to play, but like what would be good for them to play, was so like to figure out the story, I asked everybody what their favorite what their favorite movie was, 1 through 6, and Ryan is just a fan of Star Wars, period. He doesn't care, doesn't seem to take any of the politics or anything into stride. He just likes Star Wars, which is fine. And so he's like, well, what about Rogue One? I'm like, okay, fine, I'll allow Rogue One because it was actually a decent movie. Anyways, so but I asked everybody their favorite movie and their favorite character. Not that they are going to play that character, so it's like we're not going to use Princess Leia and different Ryan, Sean, different Ryan. But so like for the movies, we had a couple of Return of the Jedi, and a couple Return of the Jedi. Kirsten said Empire. Ryan said episode 3. Yeah, Revenge of the Sith. Kim, I think, was Return of the Jedi. Anyways, so basically kind of like later stuff. Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah, Curtis, Kim did try to say the Ewok movies, and I was just like, nope, those don't exist. They're not real. You're not allowed. You can't play one of the kids. You can't play an Ewok. Nope. Six World, I liked Solo. Solo was a decent movie. It wasn't great, but it was decent. Anyways, so so needless to say, and so then as far as characters, so Kim, she wanted to say the Ewoks, and I was just like, nope, not happening. And so then she said Princess Leia. Kirsten said Empire Strikes Back. And Han Solo. So, which immediately got me thinking, it's like, okay, she would be a great Han Solo character. I could totally see a female Han Solo type character. Six World, you're such a troll, dude, and I love you for it. And then Ryan said Obi-Wan from episode 3. So I'm going to let him be the Jedi in the group. Because Ben then said his favorite character was Darth Vader. And it's like, no, you can't be Darth Vader. Which he then came around with Lando. So we've already got a Han Solo Lando type character, because they're, like, at least according to D20 Star Wars, they're both scoundrels. Mr. Baker, I did mean to mention for the ADHD, it's not so much about a strict rule set. I think it's because that's what I have more experience with. There's just something in my head about being less frustrated at having to learn/remember the rules. Because reading through the rule book, it was all just kind of popping back to me. I'm still going to try and run it roughly theater of the mind. Six World, you are so strange, dude. And so anyways, so then let's see. Amy said her favorite character was the dad who, like, designed the flaw into the Death Star. I think it was Galen Urso. Don't quote me on that. Even I had to ask for clarification on his name. So that'll be a tech specialist. And then who am I missing? Oh, Ben, I decided that I do just like a soldier character. In this case, so the rough story idea is going to be about 5 years after Revenge of the Sith. And the reason I'm going to set it there is that it's easy to just play Dr. Death. You're not wrong. Leia in a chainmail bikini is always awesome. Curtis, yes, you can roll up a droid. No, I am not going to roll up a droid. I think because like one of the first rules about droids as player characters is like one of the other characters has to own you because you're a droid. And I don't want to do that. I want people to have their full agency in the game. But I figure like 5 years after Revenge of the Sith, I can. So number one, there's still like you could still say that there's a reason to have a Jedi, like, you know, like, and I actually came up with an idea. The Hero's Guide has a wandering Jedi set up. Oh, yeah, Mr. Baker, you are not wrong. The character creation was like, I was actually kind of shocked at how easy that was. I think I'm like 2.5 characters in because I keep getting distracted by all sorts of projects, but the characters have been very easy to put together. Which has been absolutely amazing. Yeah, like Shadowrun, stuff like that, I struggle because it's like, hey, you can do anything you want. And it's like, I have no idea what to do because I can do this, or I can do that, or I can do the other, and da-da-da-da. Oh, man, that hurts the ADHD. But yeah, D20, pick this, pick this, pick this. Okay, cool. Easy. Yeah, a little harder when it comes to like feats and whatnot, but overall, not too bad. Anyways, I'd want to be that salty, busted R5 that had a bad motivator. Whatever happened to him? I hope he's doing well. Yeah, and then if you're not doing like a protocol droid, then, or like some droid that can speak, like that's another reason I said no Ewoks. You know, You got to be able to communicate. So yeah, so I think 5 years after Revenge, gives a little bit more flexibility as far as what kind of characters you have. You could also make the argument of the Emperor is still like solidifying Nerd's nerd. Would you let a player be 3 Ewoks in a Wookiee trench coat? I like where you're going with this, but also no. So keep in mind, part of the reason that I'm putting in so all the characters are going to be humans. I'm not going to run any aliens for characters. Mostly because we are dealing with a lot of new players, and I don't want to necessarily overburden them, especially when we've got somebody like Kirsten, who this really isn't her thing, but she's willing to give it a try. I don't want to overburden her. Also, the fact that everybody, I don't want everyone, let me rephrase that. When I asked for everybody's favorite characters, like I was given all humans. So, like if somebody had said, Chewbacca or some other, they didn't really show a lot of like alien main or even secondary characters. But if they had, I would have tried to go through with that. That's a good suggestion. I will go back and check out Bad Batch. I think I watched like the first 2 or 3 episodes. But that could actually give me a lot of help and ideas as well. So yeah, do it 5 years after Jedi. The Emperor hasn't solidified his control, at least in some of the outer sectors. I'm going to steal a few things from the Dark Empire story. So it's like I needed a MacGuffin for him. And so if you've read the old Dark Empire comics, that's where they first introduced the concept of the holocron. And so Luke finds out that the Emperor still has this holocron. And there's a Jedi Master Bodo Boss or something. Anyway, so I figured them coming across the holocron and trying to find a good place to hide it could make a decent adventure. We'll have this Jedi Wanderer, so he wasn't really part of the Clone Wars, so there's There's a reason that he's out there. The soldier character. So my rough concept right now for the soldier character is that he is a clone trooper. But he was injured prior to Order 66 going out. And when Order 66 was given, the brainwashing didn't didn't click in because of the injury. So obviously he'll have to have like a scar on his face or something. Like indicating head trauma of some kind. So then that kind of fits into the time period. Anyways, so that's kind of the rough idea of what I'm doing with all this Star Wars stuff. And big shout out and thanks to Mr. Baker for helping me collect some of these books from 20 years ago that I never got at the time. Anyways, does it sound like I've got a good, a good plan here? Am I a little too ambitious? Not ambitious enough? Is everybody over Star Wars? Brian, why are you going to Star Wars? It's old. Nobody likes it anymore. That sounds like a better plot than anything Disney's come up with. Well, and so that's the other thing. So like if you read Dark Empire, remember the Emperor has the holocron. So I'm debating, do I force the heroes into failure, or do I let them hold on to it or get it hidden, and then turns out the Emperor was still able to find it or came across it or something, or I don't need to worry about that, just do whatever. I also kind of figure that, if it turns into a semi-long-term thing, by long-term, I mean if we do it for, say, 3 to 6 months or whatever, the Jedi character could hold on to it because he's still going to be relatively low level. Morning, Ogre. So he's still going to be relatively low level, and with the Jedi Temple destroyed, here's a way that he could continue to learn. I'm also starting all of the characters at 3rd level. Mostly because it lets me give them like a couple extra abilities, but then to me also kind of justifies them kind of being out on their own. Yeah, like with Star Wars, Luke doesn't just take off into space on his own. He's got Obi-Wan mentoring him and taking him along. By the time they meet Han Solo would be like a level 9 or 10 character. So instead of going with like much higher level, where again, then we're dealing with new players who don't know really how the game works, and it's like, oh, I have these 10 different things I can do. No, you have like, instead of 1 or 2 things you can do, maybe you have 3 or 4, but it's not overwhelming. Six World, I was literally thinking the exact same thing. Like, it's really frustrating where like the whole holocron, like you go to Empire's Edge or whatever it's called at Disneyland, and they've got like the wall of holocrons. It's like, yeah, but you didn't. They're just it's like, oh, we could use this, and anyways, as far as I'm concerned, Legends is canon, Disney is not. But that's me. All right, what do I want to do? As you can tell, I'm just kind of like piecing in and out, and it's like, oh, I have this color, let's do some more of that. So sorry if everything's kind of disjointed on the stream. We're more just like here and talking and having fun today. It's Monday. No one really wants to work anyways. And I know I'm going with a rather bright silver on a lot of this stuff, but I figure that's fair, Mr. Baker. I'm just saying, like, for me, what I'm considering canon for the game is not Disney Star Wars. Like, as much as I thought the Yuuzhan Vong were stupid, I still consider them more canonical than the First Order. The First Order was stupid. Dear Lord, was that stupid. Even the uniforms looked stupid. Like the original Imperial uniforms like looked so much better. Like the First Order stuff, like, literally looked like clown costumes. Like the hats, I realized they kind of were trying to recreate the original Empire hats, but then they looked like they had like big floppy bunny ears coming off of them. It's like, well, we're not trying to glorify World War II Germany. Whatever. Just, you make... Dude, Mr. Baker, I know, and trust me, considering some of the audience here, it's always fun to hear those kinds of comments. And I just say because there might be an insider in the group. And he doesn't like Disney Star Wars either. Yeah, no, I didn't think that I was, saying anything that most people here didn't already agree with. I'm just having fun talking about what I'm doing. I did not see me running a Star Wars game of any kind, or even playing in a Star Wars game of any kind, on the 2024 bingo card. But like I said, I feel that this group that I've got put together, it's something that I need to do. And I think D20 Star Wars is the best way to do it. So I'm kind of excited. Now, with that said, I still plan to cover my other content like I need to. Like, I need to do some more coverage of Harn. We've got the interview coming up with Grant. Yes, Grant. Somehow Palpatine has returned. How? I don't know. It was a cutscene in Fortnite. Yeah, dude, seriously. Like, I don't know. The whole... Don't get me started. Don't get me started on the whole Palpatine thing. No, Palpatine isn't a Skywalker. Gosh, that was the dumbest change ever. No, Rey's actually like Palpatine's granddaughter. No, she's not. It's just bad, lazy, stupid storytelling. Oh, gosh, that annoys me. Yeah. Exactly, Mage. Somehow Sauron had another ring of power. It's amazing. I mean, I made a backup just in case, folks. You know, if you're going to make one ring to rule them all, might as well make a second just in case, you know, some weird little hobbit steals the first one. Mr. Baker, you're right, and you are, as I mentioned earlier, Dark Empire. That was actually part of the impetus of Dark Empire, is that the Empire was still operating because the Emperor was able to right, that was part of the thing, because like Dark Empire takes place like 5 years after Return of the Jedi, and so the Emperor's still around because he was able to transfer his essence into clones, and that was actually one of the premises of the story, is that Luke destroys all of the clones, so that he has nowhere to so like finally killing the Emperor. Dark Empire wasn't great. There were definitely some issues with it, but it wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. It was fun. Nerdy Ogre, exactly. Disney Star Wars is just fanfic. I'm gonna agree with you on that one. Where am I at? Sorry for kind of bouncing around on these miniatures, folks. I think today we're here for the conversation anyways. Mage says, when I saw Rise of Skywalker, the entire crowd booed when she said she was Rey Skywalker. Someone flipped the bird at the screen and said, F you! Oh, wait, that was me. So, fun fact, we own it, but I've never finished Rise of Skywalker. Okay, I didn't see it in the theater. My oldest is a bit of a sequel trilogy fan. And so it came out while he was in Mexico and he didn't get to see it. And then COVID happened and he got sent home from Mexico. And so he's like, well, since I'm here, I would like to see it. So he just went and bought it. It was fine. But we put it in to watch and I promptly fell asleep and I've never cared to go back. So yes, that's why we own it. Mr. Baker, it doesn't count for owning it, but you do still have access to it. I'll be honest, I have a Disney Plus subscription as well. It's been one of those that we kind of keep debating and putting on the chopping block. I really do need, like, that's the funny thing is, like, there is like one or two things on each subscription service that I do watch with a regular frequency. So it's like, I don't know. Mr. Baker, I absolutely agree about the Timothy Zahn novels. Those are fantastic. Read them multiple times. Mostly just the oldest Sean. I think he just likes the look of Kylo Ren, which I kind of get. Six World, those are fantastic reasons to have a Disney Plus account. Dude, the fact that Bluey, like, if Bluey was on any other service, I probably would have canceled Disney Plus by now. I don't even have little kids. I don't think Bluey is a kids show. I think it's a parenting show. Because, like, the parent stuff in Bluey is like it hits a little too close to home. even for someone with grown kids. dude, I realize this is diverting from the whole Star Wars conversation, but Bluey is fantastic television. I realize that it's a kids show, but man, the writing isn't dumbed down. The parents are treated well. It's just fantastic. You're watching the X-Files, because X-Files was Fox and Disney bought Fox. Okay, that makes sense. I was like, why is X-Files on Disney Plus? That's weird. Bonjour. Bandit is my spirit animal. Anytime he sighs and goes, oh, here we go, I'm like, bruh. But that's, I mean, it, like, you want to talk, like I've never had anything ever make me feel as inadequate as a parent as Bluey. Dear Lord. That's just straight up ridiculous. But yeah, you're right, Ogre. It is absolutely good, wholesome television. Like I said, it's almost more of a parenting show as opposed to a kids show. Just the kids enjoy it. I will straight up say it. Rusty is my favorite character, although I am Jack. So, for those of you who know, you know. But yeah, I am Jack, but Rusty is like the best character. Which episode is that, Ogre? Oh. Yeah, there is one episode where it talks about playing games according to the rules. Isn't that the one where it's... Dude, that's awesome, Six World. No, but I think there is an episode. I want to say it's with like the Dalmatians. Where like the dad just doesn't really care about playing the game according to the rules. But then when he finally realizes, oh wait, if we play according to the rules, or they're at the park, I don't know, if you figure out the name, like where they're at the park is kind of like that doesn't help Ogre. They're at the park a lot.
Goodness gracious, someone's having a cow. Chicken cow. Did you already roll off the recycle bin?
Anyways, so or are you thinking about the one from like election day? And it's like the parents are voting, but the kids are playing at the park. But then like one of the kids is arguing or like kind of being a bully about it, about how he wants to play, and the other kid's like, man, I don't want to be involved in this. Anyway, we change the conversation from Star Wars to Bluey, and we drop like 4 viewers, which I only get like 12, so that's a lot. Oh, yeah, okay. I know exactly which episode you're talking about. That is another good one. No, don't apologize, man. I was just saying that to say they're in the park doesn't help a whole lot because they're in the park a lot. But no, that one, yes, the shadow running between the shadows. Yes, I know exactly which episode you're talking about. That is also a fantastic episode. I mean, most of them are fantastic. The others are just good. Yeah, I did see something though that apparently, even for being a kids show, there's a few things that Disney still edited out for non-Australian audiences. It's like, shut up, just leave it alone. It's a kids show, whatever it is. And I don't remember. It's just something I saw. Yes, Six World, Disney is stupid.
But we like their cruises.
But we like their cruises. We're going on another one. We're somewhat excited. Oh, also, for Friday, I am going to try and do an afternoon paint stream instead of a morning one. Sorry for kind of being all over the place. My sleep schedule has just been a bit of a mess. And so I'm awake right now. And so this is when I'm doing the paint stream. But Friday, I'm going to do the member giveaway paint stream where I paint the model for Mundo. So if you are around, do show up for that so we can be a little excited for Mundo and, have a nice chat and nice group of people to hang out while I paint his miniature. By the way, if you'd like a chance to win your own miniature, you should become a member of the channel. It's only $2. It's not a 6-foot tall Ewok 6 world. It is a Raging Heroes 3D printed something Sisters of Battle equivalent, and it's going to be a lot of pinks and teals or turquoise. But I'm also going to be trying a couple of different things. So it's some bright colors, but I usually do a dark gray base. But I'm going to try putting a zenithal highlight on it where you spray it with some white paint. But just like a misting of it from like a sort of high angle, so you're not trying to get in all the grooves and whatnot. Anyway, so I'm going to try a couple of different techniques. We'll see how well it comes off. Especially with some brighter colors. I don't do a whole lot of bright colors, so we'll see how well that works. I'm also going to try and, again, stick to monument hobbies, which I do for the most part. All right, what do black coal know? Let's try this. See, there you go. I'm being helpful. Wait, that's right. Pink Elemental, huh? Is that for submission to Rusty's next Battletech fiction anthology coming out later this year? Just kind of explain what I'm doing here. He's just kind of got like these foot wraps going on. So I'm just gonna do a base color, then I'm gonna come back with like kind of like a gray brown bleach bone kind of look color, and kind of hit the highlights, and then it'll hit the wash. Should look okay. Oh. I'll be honest, I am straight up experimenting with like a lot of this. All right. Let's do some zombie pants. Zombies are going to get brown pants. Why? Because I have more brown to use. Let's not waste paint, folks. One of the characters for the Pizza Mercs, former Smoke Jaguar Elemental who escaped, and one of her quirks is she really likes pink because she really never really was exposed to it. Okay. I just like busting on Rusty because he's a insufferable turd. Like, literally, if I see his name on something, I will go out of my way to not buy it. Like, just straight up. I don't even care if it leaves a hole in my collection. Just not doing it. And no, I am not calling for a boycott. No, I'm not even going to elaborate as far as who I'm talking about. I don't have to agree with you on everything, but you have to not be a douche. That's really what it comes down to. Anyways, man, that set me on a tear. Let's find something else to talk about. So, talked about Star Wars. Definitely need to go back to Bad Batch. Thank you for recommending that. Like, one of the things that I'm most concerned about, hey Cody, good morning, is like filling in the plot, coming up with challenges that make sense so that like you kind of know where you want to guide players to without ham-fisting it. You know, no, you're going to do this. You know, so well, now you get to take a trip to the Game Store 6 World. So it can't be all bad. I have to go to the store for something today, but I completely forget what. Um, yeah, peanut gallery will remind me. So we've got the MacGuffin of the Jedi Holocron. One of the few remaining since the destruction of the Jedi Temple. They need a place to hide it. Well, actually, no. I'm not going to task them with hiding it because, like I said, the Jedi could use it. Oh! The holocron could sort of be a... Because, like, it's interactive. It's force-powered, so it can... Yeah, like in Dark Empire, Bodo Boss talks to Luke as if he's actually there. So could use it as sort of a like a Charlie from Charlie's Angels. So to catch Cody up to speed. So the idea that I had for the game is to set it 5 years after Revenge of the Sith. So that way there's still a justification as to why there's a few Jedi running around. The Empire hasn't really solidified its control like we see at like even in the original Star Wars, you know, like Moff Tarkin was talking about, you know, bringing systems in line and under control. So they really hadn't secured the Empire, but like yeah, exactly. Like, right, I had that thought, but like the original plot idea was because the holocron, I want to make it the holocron that's first introduced in Dark Empire, which the Emperor had. So the thought was the characters have to take it and hide it, but that could be like a longer term thing, like something farther down the road that, hey, we keep getting chased for this thing. We should hide it somewhere. But in the meantime, you're absolutely right. Use it as like a mentor for the Jedi character. Because yeah, there's going to be a Jedi character, a soldier, a scoundrel, a noble, and a tech person. So anyhow, All right, well then I need something for them to do. In the first session. So I was thinking like maybe like trying to relay a message to a friendly senator in regards to the rebellion. Could yeah, but if I start off with them trying to hide it, then it takes it away from the Jedi player as that mentor character thing. That's why I'm saying maybe introduce the hiding later on. Like start like do a few sessions and then start like ramping up like the yeah, right. Oh, absolutely. Started out as a mystery, like they find a thing, or and they're not quite sure what it was because the Jedi's been away from the temple and assumed all the holocrons were destroyed, or that they were all at the temple. So why would a holocron be out in the wider universe? Yeah, so early rebellion stuff would be good. You know, maybe they have to. Oh, they'd have to steal like a prototype. Oh, that could work. The tech guy. So like the tech guy is supposed to kind of be based off of Galen Erso from who's the thing? Rogue One. And so instead of he's working on the Death Star, he's working for Incom on the X-Wing fighter. And so they have to get the X-Wing plans and get them to an outer rim manufacturing company that can then start producing the X-Wing fighters for the rebellion. There we go. That pulls in a lot of like the see good minds can have some of the same ideas as great minds. Like, and I'm the good one and Cody's the great one. That's what I meant. Yeah, because like play off some of the familiar storylines, the storylines that everyone is familiar with and likes. There we go. All right, this is coming together. I need to do this more often while painting. We can just hash out RPG ideas. Like we actually play some of these games. I would have had to play West End game Star Wars back in the day Mr. Baker. Like a friend of mine, that is actually one of my favorite stories growing up. So a friend of mine had bought the Star Wars role-playing game, first edition. Revised and second edition hadn't come out yet, but he got the first edition book, and that's all he had. And his birthday was coming up, and so we went over to the game store, and I bought the Star Wars source book. And I went over to his house on his birthday with the source book, and I said, "Hey, you left this at my house." And he takes it and he looks at it. He's like, "What are you talking about? I don't own this." I'm like, "You left this at my house." And then it finally clicked in. Wait, it's my birthday. He's handing me this book that I don't have yet. Oh, hey, this is a birthday present. I was very proud of myself for that. Yes, it's a stupid story. I don't care. It has been more than 30 years, and it still makes me laugh. Like, so sometimes I just love a good dumb story. It's like that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I don't care. Makes me laugh. Yeah, I agree. What I think is funny about them is how many people don't realize that the things they love about Star Wars, how many of them just came out of West End. Names, places, some of the early like extended diagrams, just some of that early lore that wasn't in the movies. Maybe they read them in the novels or stuff like that. Hey, Scratchmaster. All of that came from West End. Yes, that's the actual version of D6 Star Wars that I have, is the Fantasy Flight reprint. I'm a little disappointed that they never followed it up with anything. Like, I mean, if they got the rights to publish it, I mean, it was probably easier to just get the rights to publish the core book and the source book. But I mean, they could have followed it up with like a Rebel and Imperial source book collection, or just any of them, any of the other books. They could have done additional collections. So I was a little disappointed that they didn't. But I got them, and then I found some used copies not too long ago of the Rebel and Imperial source book, so I picked those up. So I technically own like 3 versions of Star Wars role-playing. I have D6, I have D20. See ya, Cody. Thanks for the tips, dude. I have D6, I have D20, and I have Genesis. And I was reading, I'm like, I should take a look at Genesis. You know, is it as bad as I keep hearing? And my brain broke trying to read just how to do a check with the dice. Well, take this, blah, 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 and well, you're going to need, and I'm sorry. If your rules for how to make a check, like how to attack something or how to do whatever, is more than like even like Shadowrun. Attribute plus skill equals number of d6s to roll. And count number of 5s and 6s. Okay. I mean, there's some few steps in there, but it's not too bad. D20. Roll a D20 and add your attack bonus. Done. The Star Wars D6. You know, take the number of dice that you have for the relevant skill you're trying to do. If you're not trained in the skill, then just use your attribute. Roll that many D6, add them together, beat target number. Okay. But no, Fantasy Flight, so I've played a lot of Fantasy Flight board games. So I kind of get, I sort of get the system, but even then, like, it's way more simple in their board games. It's, oh, you attack with this, so roll these dice. Okay. Oh, you have this sword, add one of these. Okay. And overall, it's very simple, but the Star Wars, for some reason, my brain was just not locking in on it. And it's just like, if I can't understand what I'm supposed to do, because it's also take this and then you need these dice, or you need these results on the dice, but then you also want those results on the dice, but then look out for the other results on the dice. And so the fact, I don't know, it was not as intuitive as their board games. And oh my gosh, it drove me nuts. So that's another thing. Like so I'm talking about running this Star Wars game, and the funny thing is, I have Imperial Assault, which is just Star Wars RPG combat. But my brain's like, no, that's not what's going to work in this situation. Like, the role-playing game is where I need to go. And so it's very interesting following this prompting. So, anyhow, needless to say, things are going to be interesting over the next couple of months. All right. So at this point, it is 10:30 my time. I want to keep going on these, but I have to go do some stuff. I also need to. I can't burn myself out. I'm gonna have to paint some tonight at work, which is fine. At least I get to do that periodically. All right, let's see here. Let's put paints back in tray, and then we'll chat for a minute before I bounce. All right. So, cool. That was good. Thanks. Oh man, you all like when I, for the record, when all of you are in chat and you're throwing things at me and you're making me think, it really does help the time pass. So much. I want to say, just thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being here. I absolutely appreciate it. As I've gotten to know all of you, over a year that I've been doing this, it's been an absolute blast. So thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for hanging out. What do we got going on this week? I need to get reviews up. I need to get painting done. So I'm going to try and do some extra paint streams. So just keep an eye out. You'll get notified when I put stuff up. Yeah, we'll go from there. We'll play it by ear. So on that note, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, if you have, great, share it with your friends, tell anybody who you think might be interested in gaming with ADHD. But other than that, I'm not entirely sure what is happening this week. Like, I think we might actually, you know what? Maybe I should look at my calendar. I've got a couple of reviews planned. I think we're doing Palladium Fantasy with Cody on Thursday. And yeah, we'll go from there. So, all right, folks, thanks so much. Have a wonderful day. And we will talk to you next time. Bye, everybody.